What is going on, everyone? Today we are back with a unboxing video. Now, I don't know what order some of these videos are going up in, so depending on when you guys see this, this may be my first unboxing video or my second unboxing video. But today in front of me we have the 8BitDo Pro 2 controller. This is a universal controller aimed at people that play on the Switch, that play mobile games, with also support for Windows, macOS, and Android, I believe, as well. Now, this is the second revision of this controller. I never actually took a look at the first controller, but I did see a load of people raving about how this controller might actually end up being probably one of the best controllers you can get for the Switch other than the Pro controller. Now, unfortunately, my unit here actually got delayed in shipping, so it has actually taken about 2 to 3 weeks after when it should have got here, so I'm a little bit late to this review compared to everyone else. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Whilst we're opening it now, I haven't got like anything sharp, so I have to use a pen to try and open this. But this controller, as I say, I've never looked at the first one, but I can read out. I have got the spec sheet in front of me here. So it does actually say that it works with Switch, it's Windows, in brackets Steam, so maybe not natively Windows, maybe you have to connect it via that. I mean, we won't be testing it on Steam today, but we will be testing it on some of the other devices: macOS, Android, and Raspberry Pi. So that's an interesting one. So maybe if you've got like a little Raspberry Pi emulator box, maybe it might be quite good for that. It does feature a couple of different things as well, like the special features to note here. It has 2 Pro back paddle buttons, custom profile switch button, 3 profiles, you can switch it on the fly. It's got a mode switch button for Switch, macOS, D input and X input, ultimate software on PC and mobile. It does have an app, as well as enhanced grip, modifiable vibration, and a 6-axis motion sensor, as well as a 1000 mAh lithium-ion battery, which is rechargeable, and up to 20 hours playtime with a 4-hour charge time. It does have Bluetooth 4.0 and USB-C as well. So straight up in front of me we have the gamepad here now. So they do come in multiple different designs. I went for this kind of silvery design. There is some retro style designs as well, which do look pretty cool, but I thought this was my favorite here. We are going to be using the Switch Pro controller. This is the Smash version. We're going to be using the Switch Pro controller as our comparison. But yeah, so looking at the box, it's pretty simple. There's not really much on here. It does have a few things, like here it says the Switch versions that it work with: 1.0 and above on the normal Switch and 9.0 above on the Switch Lite. macOS 10.10 and above, Windows 7 and above, Bluetooth 4.0, Steam, Windows 7 and above, macOS 10.10 and above, Android 4.0 and above, Raspberry Pi, Bluetooth 2.0 and above. So the original Switch Pro controller on its own is not necessarily a bad controller. However, for something with the name Pro, it does lack a lot of Pro features, such as for example, you've got like the Elite controller from Microsoft for the Xbox and PC, and that that controller is really good. You've got customizable buttons, you've got paddles, you've got all these different things. Whereas the Switch Pro controller, on its own, is just a Switch controller that costs like £70. This, I believe, only costs about, like, I want to say £50 maximum. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. So we are greeted straight away with the controller, and that is it's definitely very grey, but I like that. It's kind of got like a little bit of a retro design on it. Awesome. So they have got some stickers over and stuff over the D-pad, but let's go ahead and, what is the best way to open this? I don't want to, like, there we go. So we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Let's see what else we get in the box. So we get what looks to be an instruction manual, which we'll probably want to look at in just a minute, as well as a USB Type-C charging cable, which is already nice to include in the box. And do you know what? It seems like a pretty high quality cable. Yeah, it's pretty high quality cable, pretty decent length as well. I mean, if you are playing with it connected to your Switch, you know, you may think about either getting a long cable or just connecting it to a power brick while playing it. But it does boast a pretty long battery life. So is there anything else in the box, or is that it? I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's pretty much all that comes in the box. It's a pretty bare bones thing. So let's go ahead and throw all these things in here so we can take a closer look. So we have got the controller, so this should come with some batteries in it. just looking at it straight away, it does look pretty nice. It does feel pretty premium. The buttons, yeah, they feel pretty good. I would say probably on par, maybe even a little bit better than the Switch Pro, the official Switch Pro controller. So we've got our D-pad here. So they do actually follow the traditional, more like the PlayStation or the Sony style of controller, as opposed to the non-symmetrical style where you've actually got on the original, on the actual Switch Pro controller, where you've got one stick here and one stick here. They've actually gone for the 2 sticks down below, which I personally do prefer for a lot of games, but I've been someone that's always had Sony growing up. So on the front we've got our D-pad, we've got our 2 sticks, we've got our A, B, X, Y buttons, which do feel really nice. We've got a start and select button. These, yeah, I'm not a big fan of these. These do feel a little bit mushy, and you can see the controller's already gone into pairing mode. We get what looks to be maybe a home button. I'm not actually sure. Actually, no, that looks like to be the profile button. We get another button over here, which I'm again a little start. I'm not 100% sure what that does, and then we get what looks to be the home button. It's kind of got that same ring around it, and then on the back we get 2 paddles, which are customizable, as well as a switch to change the type of device that you are connecting to. So straight up, as to say, it does feel pretty good. You've also got your shoulder buttons, as well as what looks to be some sort of pairing button as well on here. But it does have a battery compartment, because I believe, yeah, so it does come with a rechargeable battery, or if you wanted to, as far as I'm aware, it does look like you could just throw in 2 AA batteries if you wanted to put in either higher capacity battery, or you just had multiple and you just wanted to do it like that. Maybe it's run out, maybe you need it for a charging session, maybe just throw 2 AA batteries in there. But I think before we go ahead and connect it to the Switch and try it out, I do want to try connecting it to mobile and see how easy it is. Now, bearing in mind I'm going to be using iOS, I believe I'm on iOS 14.5. So we have actually found the software which does look like it's the software to control the controller when we connect it. So let's go ahead and open it up and see if it actually gives us any type of thing. Right, so it actually is prompting us to connect the controller. So looking at the instructions, there are different things. There's a Windows one, there's an Android one, a macOS one, and I'm assuming macOS is going to be the same one. Oh, there we go. So it has actually picked it up on the app. That does seem like it's working. Okay, all right, so we have connected to the iPad to start doing the button mapping. I don't know if you can connect it directly to the iPad to use, but oh, there's actually a firmware update. So actually we're going to go ahead and update this from version 1.0 to version 1.01. all right, so it says it's updated. Does that mean we have to pair it again? No. Okay, so click to use the ultimate software. Okay, so you can either press the button on the controller, or you can press the button on the app as well. So let's go ahead and go to button mapping. So I'm just gonna go here. So we're gonna go to button mapping. Yes, it looks like you can pretty much map any button to any other button. I mean, we're not gonna be changing any of this right now. So once you're done, so we got different profiles as well. So let's go ahead and actually try this. Okay, so I think I've got it working. I kind of had to do some janky thing, but it does seem like it's actually connected to the iPad now. We are connected, so we're going to go ahead and give it a try in a game on iPad first before we move over to Switch, because I kind of want to test it out. We're going to go ahead and we're actually going to try it in Genshin Impact. As far as I'm aware, it does have controller support, so we're going to go ahead and sign into my account and we'll give it a go. Alright, so it does seem that we have got it connected now and working. It was a bit of a pain to actually get it connected and working, but we're in Genshin Impact, so a game that does have full controller support. The only thing is the A and the B buttons are unfortunately swapped around. I could probably go ahead and change that in the settings and stuff. As far as this goes, it does seem to be working. I haven't tried the back paddles out in this, but yeah, it seems to be working. The game's running pretty good. There's not really any delay. We are running at 60 FPS on on the iPad Pro, so honestly, I don't think we're getting any issues here. All right, so now we actually tested it on iOS. We can confirm that it does actually work, just with a little bit of tweaking. Let's go ahead and connect it up to the Switch. I'm gonna add some custom buttons and stuff, and we're gonna see just how well it works. But so far, looking at it just on iOS, I am actually very impressed. All right, so we have connected it up to the Switch, and what we're gonna go ahead and do now is just test it out, see how it feels. So one thing that this thing does advertise as well is that you should be able to switch your profiles or change your button binds mid-game. So as you can see here, I've actually got it connected both to the Switch and to the iPad, so we do get some live feedback. We have our button mapping here, so anything we press does show up on our iPad, and will also work in our game as well. So let's go ahead and load into Monster Hunter Rise here, and then we can get a basic idea of how things work. So right now, currently, I've got the back buttons to home and the A button. So if I go ahead and press the left one here, it should load up home, which it does indeed. And then if I press the A button when we actually get into a game, if we go ahead and press A, yeah, so it does seem to work. The actual response times on this controller do feel really, really good. Bearing in mind this is a 30 FPS game, so we are limited in terms of response times because of the frame rate. But let's just say we were in mid-game and we wanted to change our button. Instead of being A, we wanted it to be the screenshot button. It will say syncing, and then after a few seconds, it should just work. So now if we press this, there we go, it takes a screenshot. So that alone, I actually think is a much worthwhile feature to have. Like having these paddles at the back, not everyone will use them. The position of them, I actually think is pretty good, but it is a pretty nice feature to have. Same thing goes for the front buttons. If we want to swap any of these round, we can. So yeah, let's go ahead and, I mean, just testing it, I don't see nothing wrong with this. Yeah, no, this feels really, really nice. Yeah, honestly, regardless of whether or not I'm good at this game, I would say that this actually feels pretty good. I definitely like the controller. Honestly, at this price range, it doesn't even compare to the Switch Pro controller. Like, even feeling the Switch Pro controller now, this actually feels a lot bigger and actually way more uncomfortable. Yes, some of the buttons are pretty nice. Like, going between the two, I can't tell you which one I would prefer. They both feel, I mean, both controllers feel good. Does the official Switch one necessarily feel like £40 or maybe even double in certain scenarios as good? Probably not really, honestly. If you want the extra functionality, that alone, I would say, is worth way more than the value. So yeah, honestly, I'm pretty pleased with this. Well guys, if you did enjoy the video, definitely be sure to rate, comment and subscribe below. I actually had a lot of fun taking a look at this controller. There'll be a link to this controller to go and buy it yourself in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you do like the controller and you do actually pick it up yourself, let me know. I'll see you guys in another video. Peace out.